All right, we're live.
Nice. Welcome back.
Yeah, we're back.
We're
We
back. Although Claire's not back. Claire's, I don't know, fencing or something.
yeah.
Just the two of us this week.
Yep.
And then I'm going to be gone for 3 episodes after this because I'm going to be traveling and just the way the
Oh, is that after this
schedule
one?
works out.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So
Cool.
pretty much not going to be on another May episode. Um, Actually, now I think about it, the time. Oh no, I will be on another May episode. I'll be on the last May. Because
Yeah.
there's 5 this month, 5 Thursdays.
Yep.
I'll be traveling all around Eastern Europe.
Yeah, that should be fun. Should be
Exciting
nice.
stuff.
Yeah.
What have you been up to this week?
This week honestly it's just been kind of crazy at work, so I've been like napping when I'm getting home and then waking up and just playing a video game we'll talk about, and that's pretty much been my week. It's been a crazy one.
Okay. Okay. Yep. Sounds good. I'm excited this weekend because Thunderbolts is coming out and it's
Yeah,
getting good reviews. And I feel like it's been a while since I've been like excited for a Marvel movie.
me too. I actually want to go to the theater for this one if that says anything.
Did you go see Sinners?
Not yet, no. I've heard great
Oh man, you
things
gotta.
about it.
Yeah, that's like best movie of the year so far, as far as I'm concerned. And you think you specifically would really like it because you're into scarier stuff. That's
Yeah,
definitely a reason to go to the theater.
yeah. That was just last week too. Like, there's been some good stuff.
Two weeks ago,
Was it
yeah.
2 weeks? There's been some good stuff. Yeah, I'm excited for Thunderbolts though. Especially that most people agree that it's like the best MCU property in a long time. So that's great. I can't
Okay.
wait.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, it has been a bit. I feel like they've been kind of coasting a little bit, and I don't know what was before this. Captain America, and that one wasn't very good, unfortunately. But anyway, I'm excited. That's what I'll see this weekend,
Yeah.
and then I'll take off.
Yeah. Should be good.
But with that, let's talk about some video games. Top down perspective, May 1st. I'm Sean Booker,
I'm Paul Fleck.
and Paul. Let's start with you. What have you been playing?
I mean, the only thing worth playing right now, as far as I'm concerned, is Clair Obscur Expedition 33, because that game is very much fighting for Game of the Year in my head against Monster Hunter right now. I'm kind of going back and forth of, like,
Oh,
which experience am I, like, I gotta think about it, like, when we're far away from both of them, and I can think a little more
yeah,
clearly. But,
yeah.
Expedition 33 might be one of the best RPGs I've played in a long time. Maybe in my adult life, I'll say.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
I fucking
Big
love it.
praise. I can't remember where you were at when we last spoke about this.
I had played the prologue. Literally, that's it.
Oh, that's it. Oh, so now you've like played the game.
It's only been out for a week, right? So I only played the first hour.
Well, yeah, but I don't know because I was playing it for weeks there, so it's time is a little blurry with who had access to when and blah blah blah. So okay, so now you can actually talk about it. You've actually played like a good chunk of it. Without getting like spoilery, where
Yeah.
are you?
Uh, I fought 2 axons, which, if you don't
You
know
are
that,
significantly into that game for sure.
yes, I figured, and I've been trying to do side stuff along the way. So I'm about 20-ish hours right now.
Yeah, I want to say you're pretty close to the end of the second act, and then the third act is like, hey, you could go fight the final dungeon like right now if you'd like, but here's like twice as much stuff as you had access to
On
before.
the world.
So if you want to do lots of side quest stuff, you can. And I did like a bunch that I could easily find.
Mm,
But then still some that were just like, nah, even for you, this is still too dangerous. And I was like, holy smokes. Well, I'm not gonna just like grind until I can get in here. I do want to see the end of this game. So
yeah.
even for me, there are stuff, but I'm trying to think like you've had some. So the end of Act One rocks.
Yes, it's very good. It is very good.
So moments that you do not see coming, and you're like, I can't believe this game did that. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising. Yeah, for sure.
But, but I've been talking about this game for weeks, so I want to hear kind of your thoughts as you've been going through it.
So one of the first things that stands out to me immediately is that I love every one of these characters to the point where I've actually invested in all of them equally, and because
Oh, that's
like
crazy.
they're all awesome. They all have cool moves and they have like cool things that they can do or whatever. I especially like that on some fights, if like your front line gets completely decimated or whatever, you have the back line that can come in and like finish the job or whatever. And that's, I think that's just super cool. So like I have one of my really strong characters on the back line just in case like shit goes bad, and she just absolutely decimates shit from there and kind of finishes the job. And there's one character that's like the blue mage character, and he's just been really fun, and I kind of stumbled into like a ability for him that just like, there's this enemy type. Okay, so one of the things enemies can do is put up shields, and it basically like negates a full point of damage or whatever, for however many shields there are up. And the blue, I kind of was like just trying different stuff out with the blue mage, and I went against like a mini boss character or like a more elite enemy whose whole gimmick is just like they're always shielded, like they're a pain in the ass or whatever.
That's when you bring my L in.
See, but the blue mage character has an ability that this ability pierces through the shields, and it does damage multiplier based on how many shields they have up. So he just fucking destroys the shit out of them. Like, and I feel like I kind of stumbled into that where it's like, this could be really annoying, but this guy will kill them in one shot because he'll do 5,000 damage per hit and he does like 5 hits. So it's like, this is sick. This is so awesome.
Oh, man. Hearing such small numbers like 5,000, you're a little baby. You're just a little innocent, weak little baby. Because at the end of Act 2, you get a picto that says you can now pass 999.
Yeah, 999 is the most I can do currently.
And you need to equip that on everyone.
Yeah.
I've seen numbers higher than this. My record for damage with one attack, and it wasn't even like a crazy combo, was 300,000 damage.
Yeah. No, that's great.
And I saw someone post online today, they're in the millions.
Yeah. I mean, that's standard Final Fantasy stuff. Like when you get the limit break and you're like, oh, this is great. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, currently I do 999.
5,000 was a lot of damage, and I was like, "Oh, this is sweet, 5,000 damage."
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's great.
One thing I really like is all of the expedition logs that you find.
Yeah,
it seems like every expedition had like a gimmick that they were like, "This is how we're gonna go further" and stuff. And it does a lot of good lore building to expand on the world and stuff. And you know, an early one is the climbing expedition, which explains why there's like ladders and handholds everywhere.
Yeah.
And then it is also, you know, it's dark because it's usually like they're about to die, so they're doing like
at the very end of the thing.
At the very but then sometimes you can also like see their bodies of what kind of happened to them, and it's like, oh, we all tried eating one of the Nevrons just to see what would happen.
Oh, that one is so fucking funny. Yeah.
My favorite is there was this late game one I found where it was this expedition that they didn't believe in using weapons or armor, so they were completely naked, and all they cared about was getting as muscular as possible and fighting their way hand-to-hand combat through everything. And you get it very, very late in the game, which implies that worked extremely well for them.
For like a while, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty great.
That was a pretty good one. Have you come across any that you like?
There's a few that like the journal cuts off with them like saying something, and then like obviously that last moment was when they got like killed by the thing they're talking about or like crushed or something. And I always thought that's kind of neat because again, in the environment you can see them like crushed by the thing or whatever, like where you pick up the log. And yeah, all of that stuff is very good. The one where they eat the Nevron and they get like really sick and die is one of my favorites though. That's so good.
There's a good one where you see a bunch of broken Ferris wheels in the ocean, and Gustav and people are wondering like, oh, how did these get here? And Gustav's like, oh, that was this expedition. And you think he's joking, but then you find the journal for them, and they were literally riding Ferris wheels over to like speed up how fast they were moving.
Yeah.
Which is an insane concept.
Yeah, it's so good. The world building is insane. The music is freaking incredible too. Holy crap.
The music is great, and they know exactly like, all right, this one we're bringing in the electric guitar, and the vocals are kicking in because this is a boss fight. And
yeah,
the music is ridiculously good.
Yeah, it's very, very good. I was gonna ask, because you know where I am, it sounds like I'm roughly at the end of Act 2 and then Act 3. Hour-wise,
Yeah.
if I just wanted to beeline the story to make sure like I don't get spoiled or anything, how far do you think I would be, roughly?
Uh, less than 5 hours. Like
Oh,
probably
okay.
significantly less. I just don't exactly remember how long you have to go until the end of Act 2 specifically. Like I don't like that last dungeon area. I don't remember exactly how long it is. And then my time is also a little off because I did do a bunch of side stuff. And by a
Yeah.
bunch, I mean like I did a few hours. Like my run time at the end of this game was like 32 hours or something like that.
Okay, so I
But
wouldn't feel
because I
too
did
bad
side
about doing
stuff,
some side
when I
stuff
went
then.
into the last dungeon, I literally one-shotted everything, and the final bosses, I was like 2 turns, you're done. Like you barely touched me because I was just so overpowered.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um,
I
so I don't so it might be a bit longer for you if you're kind of going at the game's pace.
yeah.
But it does allow you to, even when you like beat the boss and you reload your thing, you're kind of right in front of the boss, so you could just
Yeah.
warp out of there and then do the side stuff, which might be ideal if
Okay.
you kind of want to see the story through the end and
That's
then just
probably
go
what
do
I'm
a
going to
bunch of the
do.
side stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm at the point now where like people I'm following are like posting some screenshots of stuff. Like it's getting to the point where like people are finishing this game naturally, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't want to see something that's going to like trigger off something in my brain. It's like, oh, this is what happens. Like I'm at the point now where I feel like I just need to push through and then maybe do some side stuff after that. Because I do love the side stuff as well. Like I just like being in this world, but the story is becoming like pretty important for me to want to experience like solo, like alone, without being spoiled on stuff. So I might
Sure.
do that. That story
Yeah,
is
and I
very
do
good.
think there's there's a moment at the end of Act 1 which I think is awesome from like a plot and
Big
just kind of
spoiler
how
part.
ballsy they were.
Yeah,
There's another equally powerful one at the end of Act 2
I'm sure. Yeah,
where I
yeah,
was just like, "Holy, are you kidding me? Okay, here we go.
yeah. No, I
Let's
believe
finish
it.
this up now."
I believe it.
Um,
Yeah, man, I love
it's so
those
cool.
characters
And
so much.
they're great. Verso and Monaco have such a great banter back and
Oh
forth.
my, yeah, they're so good. Those two.
They're
Holy
so
shit.
good. Also like all the actors and voice actors they got for this are awesome. Like the performances are so well done.
Yeah,
And
there's a
no,
nice mix
the
of
game
good,
is
like, well-known people and nobodies in here. Like, it's great. They're all fantastic. Yeah.
they it's such a good mix of like really dark and like serious tone, but also some really funny and witty writing.
Yeah.
And I kind of mentioned this last time, or maybe it was 2 times ago, but it's like I feel like in typical JRPGs, you get goofy, you get silly. It's like the joke is, you know, he accidentally looked at her cleavage, and by the way, we were able to put a cleavage shot in here. Isn't that funny? Which
Hmm.
this game just does not do. It just puts good writing in there, and here's a well written joke. So it's quite refreshing for I feel like for this genre really. Um,
Eski is one
and
of
I'm
my
really
favorite
happy to
new
see
characters ever. I love him so much.
Eskia, yeah, yeah, with his like roommate, who
Yeah,
the like turtle dude
Francois. Yeah,
from
he
Francois.
just keeps stealing his rock.
He's
Yeah.
so angry, but he also can't move. But maybe he can move. Like there's some like confusion about whether. It's funny because the characters will like call out stuff like, "Wait, how does that make any sense?" And but then like sometimes they'll address it and sometimes they won't, which
Yeah.
leads to some funny points.
Yeah. Very good. It's very,
And,
very good.
I'm really happy the game is selling so well. The
Yeah.
last I had seen it, they broke 1 million copies sold, and then that's just sold. You know, there must be an exponentially higher number because I also saw that the majority of players are on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So the game is doing very well for them. And I think one of the writers was in like a Reddit AMA or something, and she said at this point, you can probably expect there will be more Clair Obscur. She didn't say sequel, she didn't say DLC, but it's like, we were kind of just waiting to see what happened. We've been overblown, so you can probably expect there will be more to come, which is
Good.
fantastic. Like,
Good.
this is their first game. This is Sandfall Interactive's first game.
Yeah. I mean, it's
And it's a
incredible.
budget title. They sold it for $50 if you did want to buy it. Like,
Yep.
holy
So,
smokes.
I am playing it on Game Pass. I should probably just buy this thing to continue the support. Like honestly, I love it so much. I should probably do it.
You can. I do know that playing Game Pass games does like it does support the developer as well. Microsoft is obviously cagey with exactly what the numbers are, but from what I
Yeah.
do understand, engaging with a Game Pass title does somehow like do well for the developer itself. It doesn't go just right to
Yeah.
Xbox or whatever. But I've also had the same thought of like I might want a physical copy of this one
Yeah.
day just to put on my shelf because I
Exactly.
really really like this game.
Yeah. No, I'm there with you. Also, like, I am a little bit worried at some point, like, does DLC come out? Do they take it off Game Pass? And now it's like, I have to buy it and it's through the Microsoft Store when I would rather on Steam. But again, having a physical copy just to have, like, would be great too, especially if there was like a really nice deluxe edition or something. Yeah, I don't know. It's cool. This is
Yep. Well,
one of those games that makes me remember why I love playing games so much. It's been incredible, and I'm gonna be sad when it's over, frankly.
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I was similar. I didn't want it to end, but I knew like I have so many unfinished games. I need to
yeah,
like wrap things up. I need to move on. That's the curse I have. But if this, if I wasn't covering games like this, if I was like a student or whatever and I had summer breaks, I would just be like, in the basement playing so much of this.
yeah, for sure. I love it. That's pretty much
Is that
been
all you played?
eating up my week. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. I haven't been playing too much, but I did dive into the blueprints.
Okay, yeah,
I'm going through that. I'm having a hard time kind of giving a ton of time per sitting to it because it is a pretty slow game. So I'll usually do about 2 runs, which will maybe be about an hour or so. So that I'm only maybe like on day 7 or 8 maybe at this point. I'm also kind of holding off because I think this is going to be a very cloud playable game, and I might play it on like some of the trains and buses I'm doing since
sure.
I can go slowly. I don't need to worry too much about that when I'm traveling. Just with like touch controls, right? But I've been playing that. I am liking it. I don't know if I'm making like enough progress, but again, I am early. I'm still waiting for like the big like aha moment. I'm still
Sure.
in like a fact finding mode at the moment. So right now, I am liking it. I do like puzzle games.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not in no way is my slow ability. Based on me not enjoying the game, but it is cool. And for whoever's listening who might not know Blueprints, it's a run-based puzzle game that is similar to like Trail at House on the Hill. You are building out this mansion room by room, and there's a random element in terms of which room is next. You get to pick from 1 to 3, but you're coming across like little hidden secrets and then trying to figure out. It's like, oh, hang on, if I do this on this type of day, it'll affect these types of rooms and stuff like that. And there's an element of roguelite where you there are a few things that'll last perpetually, and you only have certain number of rooms you can go back and forth to, a certain number of steps. So if I take a step into a room, it goes down. If you go back, that goes down. Some rooms will increase that, other rooms will make it go down slower. So if you're like a puzzle sicko, I think for fans of like you like puzzle games where you need to bring out a notebook, this is one of those for sure. I have a note on my phone where I'm just taking screenshots and being kind of, okay, this room had something. Is this a puzzle? Is this a puzzle? Um, I'm enjoying it quite a bit, but I definitely need to put some more time into it because people are putting in like over 100 hours and saying they're not finished with everything. It is one of those games similar to like Animal Well, where it's like, well, the game starts once you get credits. So right now
Right.
you're just in baby mode. Um,
Yeah.
We'll see if I do get credits, how much more I do after that. People are saying, yeah, in the chat, Blue Mist is giving me Mist vibes. A lot of Mist vibes, but I would say almost bigger than Mist, for sure.
So the thing that worries me about it is I do like puzzle games, but when people say roguelite, I immediately roll my eyes and just ignore it. Because like how much is that stuff in there? Because like I want the puzzles, but I don't want to do like, okay, now I need to do another run and do the same puzzles to get a little bit further. Or how does it handle that sort of thing?
It won't be like doing the same puzzles to get further. You will be doing several runs. But
Hmm.
each time you enter the mansion, it's a new mansion. Like
Mm-hmm.
you have to put the tiles down differently. There will be different stuff in the rooms this time. Um, so it'll be stuff like that. You're not like Okay, I just know it's not like you're just like writing down the answers to the first 3 puzzles because I'm gonna do those 3 puzzles in that order. It's not like that. In fact, I've never done a puzzle the same one twice because they'll mix up those. And each time you come across, for example, there's like a dartboard in one room.
Okay.
You come across the dartboard, you figure out there's a puzzle around the dartboard. Each time you come across the dartboards next time, it's a harder version of the puzzle. Stuff like that. But then there's also this like other meta layer of it's like, oh, hang on, now I have a magnifying glass, and now I can zoom in on all of the like cards in the that are trying to give me hints to realize, oh, there was actually something written inside of this word. So the part that you're kind of building is your head. It's in your head. It's in your notepad. So I would not say it is a puzzle game in terms of like it's not like a Professor Layton. You're going to walk into
Okay.
this room. You're going to do 2 puzzles until you can exit. It's more of on the like Outer Wilds term of like there is a puzzle to this planet,
Mm.
and by learning this it'll kind of give you more information about the next planet or how these planets are working. Like it's bigger than that.
Okay. Hmm.
I think you'd like it, and it's on Game Pass, so easy entry for you to jump in.
Yeah.
Yep. But that's all I've been playing. Let's talk about some news this week. Most of it's pretty bad. Let's start with Xbox.
Yeah.
Announced this morning, Xbox is getting a significant price hike pretty much across the board here in North America.
Wow.
This is the first you're hearing about it?
This is, yeah.
So based on what Xbox is saying, this is due to economic environments and the cost of manufacturing. If you read between the lines, it's because of the tariffs.
Of course it is. Yeah.
But obviously they cannot just come out and say that. But some of these numbers are pretty crazy. And then just before we get into the actual numbers, let's take a step back and put this in perspective. Microsoft and Sony have done price hikes around the world, never in North America, because that's kind of like the big battleground, the more important market.
Yeah.
And we even just like 2-3 weeks ago, PlayStation had some price hikes in like Japan, and I can't remember the other spots where it was, but PlayStation just has done like several price hikes. This is the first time we're getting hit in North America. It remains to be seen if PlayStation will follow suit, but I bet they will.
Yep.
I bet they will. Anyways, let's look at some numbers. An Xbox Series S, so kind of the base model there, used to be $300. It's now $380. These are all US dollars. I'm going to talk, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
A standard Xbox Series X, which launched at $400, is going up $100 to $600. And then if you're looking at the most souped up Xbox, which is the 2 terabyte Galaxy Black one that launched last year, that was $600. It is now $730, which is more expensive than a PlayStation 5 Pro, which is a significantly more powerful console. Because the Galaxy Black Xbox Series X is technically, from a like an internal hardware standpoint, the same as the launch Series X, a 5-year-old console now.
Yeah. That's a crazy hike. Yeah, that's bad. $130.
I mean, if Sony's following suit, that PS5 Pro is going to be getting close to $900.
Yeah. I mean, I assume now that the dam has broke with this, Sony will follow suit. I wonder what they charge that thing at now.
Yeah. It is crazy. I feel like every time we're talking about these price hikes, I say, I've never seen anything like this in the games industry before. This is crazy. And then it just keeps one-upping itself each month.
Yeah.
So it's not just the consoles. Let's talk about some peripherals. Controllers are going up $5 from 60 to 65. The wireless headset went up $10 from $110 to $120. This is pretty similar to what we saw Nintendo do just last month, because all of their accessories went up by about $5 to $10 as well. Then the big one that's getting a lot of people upset is that they have said, quote, some first-party Xbox games starting this holiday will be going up to $80.
Yeah.
So it is no longer just Mario Kart World.
Right. I wonder, I mean, I'm sure it would have because they're raising the price of everything, but I wonder if Mario Kart World being that much made it a little bit easier for them to be like, oh, okay, well, guess what? That's just what we're going to do too for a bunch of stuff. Or if like maybe they would have thought harder about if they could or not. Like, I wonder if it just made it easier in their board meetings to be like, oh, good, Nintendo broke the dam. We're good. Okay.
Oh, I'm sure that's exactly what it did. Like,
Yeah.
there's an element between all these companies where they are competing with each other, but there's
Yeah.
also, if you can look at it in the opposite direction where it's like they're also kind of like trying to ensure that they're all getting more money.
Yeah.
So they kind of like an example for this is when like airlines do things like, well, now there's like an increased baggage fee. It's not like just that one airline does it.
They all do
Suddenly
it.
all airlines now have an increased baggage fee because they know they can now get away with it. Look, people are paying for it over there.
Yes.
And that's the
Exactly.
other downside is, people are looking at this and they're thinking, well, if the tariffs go away, it'll just go back down, right?
No, that won't
No,
happen. That's not how things work.
this is never happening. It is never going down. There's no reason for them to have it go down. Like, nope, this is
That's not
just
how
the
things
future.
work.
And if anything, it's probably going to get more expensive.
Yeah. More than likely. Yeah.
It makes Game Pass look a lot better. Game Pass did not get a change this time. It's definitely gotten price increases. It still could get price increases.
Yeah.
So there's two ways of looking at it. Seems like if you want to play some Xbox first party games, you should get Game Pass. However, they could also have more room to increase it and still make it a better deal than buying, 3 Xbox first party titles.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming sooner or later.
I agree. Yeah, I think so too.
It is interesting to see Xbox do this since they're like so in last place. Like people are not buying Xboxes, so I'm almost kind of surprised that they increased it. I guess the thinking there is, well, for the like 10% of gamers who are buying Xboxes, they're gonna definitely spend more. They gotta pay a little more for the people who aren't buying them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty crazy price hike for sure. Keep the bad news going. Also from this morning, Polygon, obviously the video game coverage website, has been sold to Valnet and hit with massive layoffs. Seems like almost everyone from Polygon is gone. There are still, I know of at least 2 people who are still working there. I know the number I saw was that over 20 had been laid off. I don't know what their head count was in total, but from what I understand, it's the majority of them. So Polygon's probably pretty much done at this point. I've been seeing some people look into Valnet. They seem like they're just one of those company that buys up like media companies and kind of guts them to keep the name around.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask is what's the point of buying a thing and then just laying people off rather than close it down or something? Like, I don't know, but that makes sense because they want the name.
Yeah, well, I don't know why. Yeah, exactly. I don't know why you would buy it and then close it down because then you don't get anything for it. But I'm looking at this Kotaku article about the thing. Valnet is based in Montreal and operates Screen Rant, Game Rant, Comic Book Resources, and other mass aggregators. The company is run by Hassan Youssef, who got his start in digital media with online porn sites. The addition of, and here's the quote, the addition of Polygon not only strengthens our editorial muscle, but also amplifies our ability to deliver unmatched value to both audiences and advertisers. Said in a press release today.
Interesting.
That's a bummer. Polygon was a pretty good institution, and it's sad to see those people go.
I've never even heard of Valnet until this, to be honest. So, yeah.
I feel like that's usually the case. Is the companies are just those mega ones that you've never heard of, and they kind of come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And then along a similar trajectory, it seems like Giant Bomb is almost gone itself. Following kind of Blue Sky and the subreddit, they did a shift. They were told to no longer live stream. They were going to do no more streams. Just kind of Giant Bomb's thing. It's a very personality focused website. And on the subreddit this morning, it was announced, confirmed by one of their creative producers, that Giant Bomb is just going to be turned into a guides website. And
guides website.
Which is crazy because so they're owned by Fandom along with GameSpot and GameFAQs. You think that might be the guide website, but
yeah.
And then 2 of the creative leads, Dan Reichert and Jeff Grubb, are no longer with Giant Bomb. I know a lot of those people just from talking to friends at GameSpot, they were kind of double dipping with working on GameSpot, working on Giant Bomb. So it remains to be seen how much actually games or Giant Bomb will be around, or if the remaining people will just be moved over to GameSpot to support that website. But I have a hard time believing Giant Bomb can continue without like two of their main hosts. There's not a lot of people left over there.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely sad. Absolutely sad.
I'm just
Definitely
reading
running
the
out
thing
of
here.
games media jobs out there.
Yeah. Weird.
All right, let's keep the bummer train rolling. EA laid off around 300 people this last week.
Oh, good.
Including about
Okay.
100 at Respawn,
Oh, fuck.
who was working on an incubation project that was supposed to be an extraction shooter set in the Titanfall universe.
Yeah.
Which has now been canceled.
I'm getting pretty sick of the term extraction shooter or that type of game, but yeah.
Hey, it's the new hotness. Everyone's making an extraction shooter. Like,
Yep.
it was Battle Royale a couple years ago.
Yep.
Now it's going to be extraction shooter for the next couple years.
A Titanfall one would have been kind of sick, but you know what'd be better is a Titanfall game. I love that series.
I'm sure Respawn wishes they could make a Titanfall game, but
For sure.
I feel like this is at least the second or third time a Titanfall incubation project has been canceled over at Respawn.
Yep.
They're clearly trying, but EA does not seem interested in anything relating to Titanfall.
Yeah.
But anyways, 300 jobs, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's a lot.
You almost wonder how many people are even left in the games industry. Like it's every couple months, just these crazy high numbers. Like, it's not looking good.
I do feel like it's been a while since we've had another 300 banger at least. It's been kind of like 10, 20 here and there, but like, man, if you had told me that EA would be the next one, I would have believed you. So this isn't necessarily like surprising, I would say, but yeah, I really like Respawn, so this is such a fucking bummer. That sucks.
Absolutely. My heart goes out to the people. I hope they land on their feet, but the job market is rough out there. All right, here's a bit of a win.
Okay.
The ongoing court battle between Epic Games and Apple.
Yeah. All right.
Epic Games has won.
Oh.
Apple can no longer stop developers from directing their users to make payments outside of the App Store. It also stops Apple from collecting its commission fee on payments made outside of the App Store. As a result, Fortnite will be back on the App Store any day now, says Epic Games.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So if people don't remember, Epic was trying to argue that Apple should not be taking this much of a cut from their games, and Epic was this was years ago. They implemented a like button that would direct you out of the App Store to like a website where if you bought it directly from Epic, and it was actually cheaper to do so. And Apple said, no, you can't do that. If you're selling something through an iPhone, you have to pay us 30%. There is no way around that. And Epic says that's ridiculous, and they've been fighting this court battle. The judge ruled that Epic is right, meaning that apps are going to be allowed to direct people off of doing an in-app purchase directly. So I even know specific things like, this is one that relates to directly with us with our Patreon. If you want to subscribe to us through the Patreon app, Apple actually gets a chunk of that.
Yeah.
Versus if you just go to patreon.com and subscribe to us, we see more of that money. And Patreon would send us a whole bunch of emails before this just to be like, hey, make sure your audience knows what's going to happen, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
It's going to cost them more money if you want to still get the same amount of money from each user, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. Patreon is currently working to update their app so that people can go back to subscribing through the app now without needing to deal with getting the Apple fee put on there. So
yeah,
that's good for them.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Also, Twitch. A lot of creators and stuff say, don't, if you're on mobile, do not subscribe to me on Twitch or whatever, because of the same reason. So I'm wondering if that'll be fixed now too. They would usually have like a command or a link that you could go to do it specifically, so that you didn't pay the Apple tax on subscribing to people. So no, it's great. It's a good win.
I'm sure every app is implementing this because it's better for the user.
Yep.
It's also crazy to think like Fortnite left the App Store close to 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It was definitely like near the beginning of the pandemic, so it's pretty crazy. It's been gone that long, and it'll be coming back.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for Epic.
Yeah, it's great. It's a good win.
And then the last news story here. This is kind of interesting. Hollow Knight Silk Song will be playable in September at an Australian museum.
I don't believe it. I think
so. The studio, which is based in Adelaide, South Australia, has yet to ship Silk Song, but it'll be released with a vague 2025 window. It'll be playable at the Melbourne Museum as part of a video game expedition called Game Worlds, which will also include displays that delve into the game's design and artistic direction. So this might be, I don't know if it's going to be the first time like anyone outside the studio gets to play the game, but it's the first time we've heard that someone could get to do it. I don't know if there's going to be stuff like over the summer or like between now and then, but that's kind of interesting. Also kind of a weird one. You don't really hear about random museum gets playable game, especially for one so hyped up and people eager to play it as this.
Yeah. Yeah. Crazy.
All right. That's news for this week. Let's do some questions. Top down perspective at gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or Claire's P.O. Box are great ways to send questions in. And you could sound like Rasterman, who writes, with the departure of Pope Francis, people are starting to remember that time when MatPat gifted him a Steam copy of Undertale. If you could go back in time and change it for another game, which one would you choose? Do you think he would have played it instead? You're allowed to take any game, though bonus points if it is released before 2016. Do you have any idea about this?
Yes, I do. Do you know who MatPat is? Like, just...
Vaguely.
Okay. I guess for like anybody, he was the leader of the creator of a thing called Game Theory on YouTube, big YouTube channel or whatever. Right. Yep. And he got an audience with the Pope, and he gifted him a copy of Undertale. That's the story, I guess. Okay. So, do you think? First of all, no. Whatever we gift him, the Pope would not have played it because he's the fucking Pope. Like, let's grow up here and
realize. No, he doesn't. Of Undertale.
No, he doesn't give a shit. The Pope does not care.
What does the Pope do in his free time then, if he's not playing video games?
Well, they're usually 100 years old, so probably sleeping. I would assume.
All they do is sleep. That's all. If you hit 100, all you do is sleep.
Probably.
Your body needs so much rest.
Yeah, probably. So, what game would you choose? I think something like Journey or Flower, something just relaxing, would be kind of more like something, because I don't expect that the Pope will play it anyway, so why not give him a...
I mean, at some point, based on their age, I could see them not having much interest in games, but at some point there will be a Pope born who grew up playing video games, right?
Eventually, yeah, of course. It
hasn't already happened. Gaming is not super new, but I'm just saying, at some point it'll be almost guaranteed this person grew up playing video games, watching anime, stuff like that. Well, one day we'll get a nerd Pope. That's my dream.
Yeah, of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
So when the nerd Pope comes, like they're gonna want to play some video games. But like if I'm introducing a Pope to video games, I don't know. Maybe you just do Tetris.
Yeah,
like,
Tetris.
You need one that's super easy to get into, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if Undertale would have been a great decision because it's like Undertale's kind of like, it's referencing a lot of stuff. It's going against a lot of typical norms that the Pope is just going to be like, I don't know, looks cool.
Yeah, I mean, the reason he gifted it was the saccharine fucking memes or whatever, right? It's like, it's about friendship and that's what it was for. Which
is going to go right over the Pope's head. I'm sure he's not on the message boards laughing at all the memes.
Of course.
He's not on the subreddit.
It's so MatPat could put together a sickeningly sweet YouTube video about friendship. That's all. That's the only reason. Also because Undertale was like the biggest game of all time at that point.
Hey, sure. If you're going for views on your channel, I totally understand it.
Yeah.
People love talking about Undertale. People love saying Undertale.
Yeah.
It's definitely an easy one to go to. But if I'm here trying to like do the homework, if I'm trying to like check the box presented to me, I'm probably doing something like like a Tetris.
Yeah.
Maybe even like a Tetris effect. So they got all the cool effects and visuals. Like put them in VR.
Honestly, like VR chat or something. Yeah, a VR game though. Yeah, sure.
Maybe Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 2. Let him live a little. He's on his last legs. If he's 100.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. He may be the Pope, but yeah, I'm not gonna. Anyway, I don't know. Like, what if you just gave him like Returnal or something? Just like some really difficult but kind of cool game.
Really hard. I doubt he's gonna get very hard, far. Or just like a Souls-like or something like that.
Elden Ring, probably.
Get good, sir. Yeah, Elden Ring.
Yeah. I think VR is the way to go, though. I think that's probably the correct way.
Yeah, VR, and then you do Tetris Effect, because Tetris will be easy enough to like pick up and figure out, and then that looks pretty cool in VR.
I agree.
I think Tetris is a pretty good one. I'm trying to think, like, can I play with him? Like, can I play a couple rounds of Overcooked?
No, I don't think so. That would be hilarious, but no, I don't think so.
I think you could pick up Overcooked. I just showed someone who had like minimal game experience Overcooked, and they had a great time. So I think that could be kind of fun.
Okay, I was gonna make this joke, but it does exist. There is a Pope simulator, so you could get him to play a Pope simulator and see how realistic it is. Get him to endorse it.
Just ask him questions like, "Hey, can you, can I get some commentary here?"
Oh, this isn't even out yet. Okay, never mind. You couldn't do this then.
Okay, you couldn't do it. Well, maybe for the next Pope, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully. Phantom Aegis writes, "Ahoy TDP crew, I'm here to test your gaming knowledge by checking your musical tastes." Okay. What's your favorite mobile game OST? Here are a few things I'm looking for, but doesn't have to be mandatory. Preferably, please, something that is mobile only, iOS and Android. That's it? Oh, okay. Oh, this is easy. It's Nier Reincarnation, because Nier music is fucking incredible. And that game is awesome.
Does that have all new music, or is that a lot of the stuff from like Automata?
It has a mix of stuff, but yeah, it's just a good.
I'm gonna probably say Sayonara Wild Hearts.
Okay, sure.
Which launched on iOS first, and then it came to other platforms later on, but it was originally a mobile game. So I think that's up there. I'm trying to think of any other like really good ones. I remember really liking Cannibalt back in the day. It had like one song, but it was a good one.
Yeah, it was on loop, but it got your blood pumping. That was a good one.
Yeah, I mean the game was also like very simple, so it didn't really need a lot more music. But yeah, I liked Cannibalt.
Some of the music in Nikke Goddess of Victory is pretty good, but some of it is also forgettable. So that whole OST, I wouldn't say would be like a strong suit necessarily, but there's some good stuff.
Okay. I'm going to be honest, I don't listen to a lot of the mobile game soundtracks because I usually have the games muted.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to a podcast. I also don't play a ton of mobile games these days anyways. So.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Suku writes, gold, gems, points, coins, love it or hate it. Video game premium currency exists and comes in all shapes and sizes, though some will branch out from the norm and be different. What's some of the weirder ones you've heard? Some of the more infamous ones are COD points, Nightfall creds in Killing Floor 3, and nut sacks in Final Fantasy 14. Side question, you have to admit some games overdo it. What games have you seen with the most premium currencies?
Oh, man. I don't think I've played one of the... So I know there are games that, like, you earn this, and then you can turn this into this and buy tickets with it that you can buy. Like, I know there are games that... I don't think I play the games that do that, though. So I don't have any personal experience with...
I remember Suicide Squad had a whole bunch of currencies, and I ignored kind of all of that. But it had, like, 5 different ones you could do. I think Gotham Knights was similar. I think it had a whole bunch of currencies as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Honestly, I think the most I've been able to actually engage with is 3 before my eyes begin to glaze over and I'm like, I don't even know what these do, and I do not care.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I think it's pretty normal these days where if you're going to have currencies, you probably have an in-game one that you can earn and then one that you can buy. And then usually there's like
2?
yeah, 2. And then there's like a huge exchange rate of 1,000,000 of the one you can earn in game for like one that you could buy, like just some stupid exchange rate, or like you could just spend money. And so I think that's usually what they do now. I gotta be honest with you, like I don't play a whole lot of games that do that stuff, or at least I don't engage with that part of it usually.
The chat is saying that Marvel Rivals is called Unstable Atoms. I don't think I realized that.
Unstable Atoms, really? Maybe, yeah. I always just look at it and it's like, that's the blue one and that's the gold one.
Yeah, I barely pay attention to the in-game names for them. And then I usually don't even like engage with them really. Like I just don't care. It's also pretty rare that I'm like buying skins and stuff anyways. I'll usually buy, like if I'm putting money into the game, it's probably the battle pass. In which case it's pretty obvious. It's like, which is the thing here that costs $10? Okay, I don't care what it is. Here is your $10.
Yeah.
Let me do the battle pass. But other than that, I'm not like, I need to make sure I get like 950 blah blah blahs. So yeah.
Apex
What's
Legends,
the deal with
right?
nutsacks in Final Fantasy 14?
Nutsacks in Final Fantasy 14. Was that like one of the seasonal ones? I've played 14 and I don't remember that. Like somebody in the chat maybe can answer. But Apex Legends, right? You've bought a few things like skins and that, but that's about it. That's like the only game.
It's just the battle pass.
Oh, it's only
usually
battle pass.
The battle pass will be like, it'll get you skins.
Okay, sure.
I was thinking about this the other day. I don't know if I've ever bought a skin ever.
Wow. Okay. Okay, fair enough. It's for doing rare mob puns. Gotcha. Okay.
I think I've just done battle passes, which usually gets you some of the currency, which I could then spend on some skins.
Yeah.
Or I'll just unlock skins, or there's seasonal events where I'll get skins. I don't think I've ever actually like put money to buy a skin specifically ever.
Oh, okay. I definitely have, but I don't pay attention to the currency stuff. I really like when like there's a skin there and it just says it will cost you this, and then I can know that that is usually American dollars, and that exchange rate I'm fine with because that's real. So that I'm okay with usually.
Well, I'm sure the reason they're doing these different things is it probably tricks people into doing more because they don't actually know what the dollar thing is. Like I'm sure it is a completely like psychological thing of like,
it is.
We can get people to spend more money if we call it gold or gems or coins, because if they see that it says $6, they'll be like, oh, $6 is expensive. 600 coins.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. I don't know what that means, but I got 600 coins probably.
Yeah, that separation is huge. It's why casinos give you chips and you don't play with like money, like real money. Yeah,
absolutely.
For sure. All right, Dead writes in and asks, how often do you swim nowadays, and do you have any favorite swimming memories? Swimming memories.
I don't think I swim too much nowadays. I definitely go in my gym's hot tub every now and then.
Okay. That's probably the closest.
I have been doing a bit of surf lessons, so that's technically swimming.
Yeah.
That's a pretty recent thing.
I mean, I used to live in a town where there wasn't a whole lot to do, so we would go swimming and then like hit up the arcade, and like that's when I was younger. So I wouldn't say there's like a specific swimming memory. It's just kind of like back then riding your bike with like your buddies or whatever, meeting at the pool. Like that was just good times. There wasn't one specific memory or anything.
Do you swim much nowadays?
No, honestly, I just feel like I don't even have time to do other stuff that like taking time to go to the pool specifically to swim. Like I think I would love to, honestly. Maybe I should make time to do that soon. Might be nice.
Favorite swimming memory for me? I don't know. I like water parks a lot, so I think back to some fun water parks with like water slides and shit like that.
Yeah, the wave
Um,
pool. Did you ever go to the wave pool here?
oh, absolutely, wave pool.
Yeah,
I mean, I also I grew up doing a lot of like after school care or daycares at like the school daycare over the summer. So they had to like take us to stuff throughout the summer. So swimming was an often one. But like
sure.
West Edmonton Mall has that big water park,
Yep.
which is good.
Yeah, those are fun actually. That's true.
But if I'm trying to think like most recently, it's probably like the surfing lessons I've done over the last couple of months. Those are pretty fun.
Cool.
It's like way different than any other kind of swimming I've had to do. So
Sure. Makes sense.
VGC Kenny writes, how long should a video game be? At what point do you go, this is too long, nobody should finish it because it's too long, and that being the only reason?
I mean, games that don't end are too long and nobody should try to finish them because they're unfinished. World of Warcraft, for example, is probably one I would say. You should probably not try to finish that or whatever that version of finish would be.
Well, this is the age-old question of like, when does the game end? And I think it was about Her Story, and the developer's like, well, it ends when you feel satisfied. And then the person responded, how do I know when I'm satisfied? And
I do remember
that
this.
has now become a meme. So
That is so
um
funny.
yeah. That's the actual answer of it's too long. But I don't know. I feel like if it's a story-based game, it's when the story starts to drag on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stuff that comes to mind for me is like Last of Us Part 2. There's kind of like a
Yeah.
third act in there where it's like we kind of just had a satisfying ending, and yet
It kept
Ellie's
going.
going back out there, round 2. Here we go, and it's like, what?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so that one comes to mind kind of for me. If it's like not a story-based one, then I guess I don't know. I guess if there's no story, can you call it long then? Because like how it just like
Like,
no one's sitting
no?
there being like Tetris is too long. Like what is that? What does that even mean, right?
Yeah. Like, no, not really, because you just play as long as you want to and then put it down.
And then stop, or it's like I don't know. I guess like a lot of the Super Mario Bros. Games they didn't have like a capital S story to them. But was anyone going to be mad where it's like, how come there's 800 worlds here? Like I need to see some
Yeah.
credits or I'm going to be upset, kind of thing. Like I don't know. I feel like it's only going to feel long if there's like a story with weird pacing involved.
Yeah. To give a hard, short, easy answer, if something is like a tight 10 hours, I'm usually super down with it. It's like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do that. So I'll say 10 to 20 hours is my favorite. Like, if you can get me invested, hooked in, and then like whatever, 10 to 20 hours is like where I feel pretty good to play most story heavy stuff.
I mean, yeah, I think tying an hour count to it is difficult because that's also going to be dependent on like age, because like how much free time do you have? Like when I was a teenager and stuff with like summer breaks, giving me like an 80-hour
100 hours.
RPG, totally
Totally.
fine.
Totally.
Whereas you asking me to do that now, it's like I'm gonna have to like shift my life around a little bit if I'm committing to finishing this game. So
Yep.
it's really gonna come down to the individual for sure.
Yeah. What about for you personally? Like, what's a sweet spot for you?
Because again, it comes to the game. Because like typically, I would say I don't have time for a 100-hour RPG. But last year, I played Final Fantasy Rebirth, which that is a game I do think is too long.
That game
Um,
is too long. Yeah. Very
or
much.
what was it, the year before that, or 2 years before that, whatever it was, like Elden Ring. I put over 100 hours into that. I jumped back in and did another like 40 with Erd Tree. Like
Yeah.
if the content was good, like I was having fun. But you look at Rebirth again. I don't think the typical person should put 100 hours into Rebirth. I don't think it's worth it, and I'm not. And I
I agree.
regret some of the bullshit that I put myself through just to kind of do almost everything. And I didn't even do everything, so I'm sitting here being like, "Oh yeah, I put 100 hours in. I did 98% of that game." Like, what? Why didn't I just do 90% and have a better time? What was I doing?
Yeah. That's kind of like this point of like, this is too long, nobody should finish it. I kind of just think if you want to stop playing a game, you should just stop playing that game. Because there's too much out
Yeah.
there that you might like really love, right?
Well, hey man, games are $80 now, so I'm gonna finish them. I
Well,
can't just
at
keep
this
buying
point,
$80 games.
at this point, yeah, that's true. If
Yeah.
you're in, you're in.
Um, Yeah, exactly. So, it's going to be different for everyone. Like, and even for me specifically, like a lot of I'm getting codes for a lot of games these days. But at the same time, it's like I do like finishing games. Like I look this year that we had so much. I haven't been able to finish Avowed. Haven't been able to finish Assassin's Creed. Haven't been able to finish Kazan. I don't like just leaving them unfinished. But what are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, yeah, true. Is Veyru right? Remember when someone's uncle used to work for Nintendo? Ah, the good times, good old times. What are some more fun or weird video game myths / stories you've heard or have experienced throughout your life?
I feel like they don't do these anymore. Like I can't remember the last time someone like a current one. But when I was a kid, it was like all the weird shit in Pokemon, like, oh, you can move the truck outside of the SSN, and there's like a Mew underneath it. And it's like, no, no, you can't.
Yeah, yeah.
That was a big one though.
Oh my god, what was there was a few Street Fighter ones to play as like Akuma in Street Fighter 2 or something. I can't remember any of the specifics. Oh yeah, Shane Long. Oh. Okay, I mean I would have to look that whole thing up. I'm trying to think of other ones off the top of my head. Oh, there was a while there where there was just like people just trying different codes or whatever. I guess Game Sharks kind of like broke some of our minds when we were younger, because it was like you could do this if, or like I saw my friend do this and it's like, yeah, it's because he cheated the game by using a Game Shark or something like that.
Okay.
So like infinite ammo glitches for Tomb Raider, there was like the nude Raider code or whatever, which didn't actually exist. It was just like, I don't even know if it was a Game Shark thing, just a myth. Yeah. There's a whole bunch. There's so many I actually can't remember a lot of them, but it was fun. It was a good
I
time.
definitely had one of those Game Shark books, and I had a Game Shark, but I don't remember using it all that much.
Yeah, because it
I'm
was
curious
hard to
if
put the codes in. Time consuming.
It was, yeah. I have my Game Boy stuff here. I just wonder if I haven't seen my Game Shark in a long time. I wonder if it's in that bag or not. I'd have to go check. But yeah, and then I feel like as soon as kind of the internet became a thing, like a widespread thing, this stopped being like no one made myths anymore because it was like too easy to verify.
Yeah. And it was from a time too where there was a lot of print media when you were like, when you were into video games and stuff. Internet wasn't, I'm talking about my childhood, obviously. Internet wasn't huge or whatever. So a lot of the stuff and information we got were from print media, and what print media would usually get were very early builds or alpha builds, and things would change. So then they would have screenshots of something. You'd be like, holy shit, how do you play as Reptile in this? It's like, you don't. He's just like in the code, and he was a placeholder, but that's what this guy printed. So, so a lot of things stemmed from that sort of thing too, just like a different era where you didn't get information instantly, so things were like older, not used anymore by the time you got it.
In the chat here, fake Smash leaks still happen. Yeah, I feel like this is almost kind of a different thing, because like with Twitter and and now Blue Sky, it's like people will just make shit up, and then it'll spread super fast, but then it goes away pretty quickly. Like it's almost like memes used to last way longer when we were growing up versus a meme lasts like a day or two now.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff.
Yep. Yeah, the Shane Long thing I was talking about was from an EGM article too. So like, yeah, they all stemmed at some point from print magazine. Sorry, go on.
Nope. Matthew writes, first, some backstory. There was a tournament for Dragon Ball Sparking Zero with several qualifying rounds leading up to it. At the time, Android 19 and Dr. Gero had a special ability that lets them dash through the air without using ki, because they actually use anti-gravity boots to fly.
Okay.
However, this led to one of the qualifying tournament's grand finals being two players that just dash up and down constantly to avoid each other and stall out the timer rather than actually fighting.
Okay.
So with this example in mind, what would you propose to stop competitors from engaging in tactics that go against the spirit of a competition?
So in my opinion, the spirit of the competition is to win. So if either one of them were waiting for the other to make the first move, that unfortunately is the spirit of the competition. But because obviously you don't want to. I think they were trying to like react to each other or whatever. I don't know, man. Like you could put a stop clock in where it's just like you can't be in the air for more than like 3 seconds without doing anything or something. Like you could impose a
like
bunch
a
of
shot
house
clock,
rules.
like in basketball. You mean,
Yeah,
kind of.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah, you could definitely do something like that. Okay, here's an idea. So if they're going to do this, they're in the finals, and obviously they're doing this because they're like, hey, wouldn't it be funny if we just like dicked around in the finals? How about nobody wins? Like neither of them
Sure.
win. You're both
Yeah.
losers.
Sure. Why not?
Maybe you ban them from the next tournament.
Yeah.
That could be something too. But then you're getting into stuff like if they're the two best, and then you don't have the best players at your tournament, and that's probably not a great look for your tournament and stuff like that. It's hard though, because like obviously they're doing this because they think it's funny, and no matter what, humans are always gonna just ruin everything they can for a joke. So they'll find some way around it. But I guess it does a little bit come down to the devs to be like, well, you need to like patch this out. I'm assuming at this point they have patched this out to avoid this scenario, but I'm sure
Yeah,
people are
maybe.
just gonna find something else. Yeah, this would just suck. Like I'm trying to think if I was like putting on the tournament, if I was one of the tournament like coordinators or whatever, and then someone just came in here and thematically just took a shit on the grand finals. It's like, oh, I've spent so much time and my energy, and you guys did this for a TikTok gag. Well, that's humans for you, I guess. So I guess the moral of the story is we should all just go fuck ourselves.
I mean, I don't disagree.
I think if whoever got third, they're now the winners because these two got disqualified. Because
well, that's the thing. At the end, if there isn't a winner,
I don't know what to tell you. You guys both lost. This over here, this was the last person to win. You go.
If you're running a race and you're in first and then you stop, you're still DNF. You don't have to set a time. You're not even counted. So yeah, I agree with you. Sure. If neither one of them are winning, then like it's a forfeit. It goes to the next one. I agree. It seems like a simple solution to me, anyway.
Yeah, I mean it is a simple solution in terms of like where do we give the prize to, but I do understand if you are putting on a tournament, the big finale is supposed to be like this is probably when most people are tuning in. This is when we set up all the pyrotechnics and stuff or whatever, and then these people just came in here and did like a whoopee cushion fart gag, and earned 100 more TikTok followers, and then they pieced out. Yeah, so, I don't know. Hey, I don't know. At least I hope they're showered. Right? It's not a Smash tournament, right? So maybe they showered at least?
Well, it's still a fighting game based on an anime, so there's probably something wrong with them.
That's true, and it's not a good game. So there's that. Maybe that's the first problem is don't do a tournament for a bad game.
For a bad game?
Do a better pick a better game first. Maybe bad games just attract bad people. Maybe that's kind of part of it too.
I mean, it very well could be. I guess my question is this at least funny? Like the video or whatever? I don't know the situation at all.
So, I think that's obviously going to be subjective. I'm sure there are plenty of people who are watching this and they've never laughed harder in their lives because these guys dashed both not only up but down.
Yeah, and this would have happened before Chicken Jockey, so at the time the funniest thing hadn't happened yet. Which makes sense.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. At this there's no way you can stop this going forward because the air joke has happened. There will never be a better joke.
That's right.
Speaking of Chicken Jockey, did you see that at least down here AMC they're starting to do like rowdy specific screenings of the Minecraft movie?
You know what? Good for them. People, they do the like midnight showings of Rocky Horror Picture Show and like everyone has their memes. Good for them for at least being like, you know what? If you want to bring your kid to just be a loud idiot the whole time, this is the one you got them to. That's great.
I just feel bad for the people who work at the theater because they didn't sign off on this. And it's just like, here's an extra big mess that you need to clean up now.
For sure. That's rough.
Enjoy your minimum wage I'm a man in a suit, and now here's 8 more showings on your shift where people are now allowed to take a bite out of the seat cushion.
Totally. I mean, the proper way you do this, or the way I would do it if I had to do this, is that anybody working that would be voluntary and they would get paid hazard pay. They would get paid jockey pay to handle it.
Did you get your chicken jockey pay in there?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you get a bonus. Holy
yeah,
shit! Okay,
we're going out for
Okay,
steaks.
let's think of I don't know what minimum wage is. Just for the sake of argument and easy numbers, let's say minimum wage is, let's say for one shift you get $100. Okay, just to make the math easy. So if each day you do your shift, you do your air shift, you're going to come away with $100 in your pocket. What do you want to come out of that if you have to do 2 chicken jockey showings?
2? I think each one should be
8 hours.
I think each one should basically be overtime. So 150 plus, I guess like 200, 250 if you had to do 2 showings of chicken
Total?
jockey.
250,
Yeah.
250. So you're saying each one is getting like $50, $50 to $75?
I would say 50 probably, yeah. 50% premium on top of what you would make.
I'm trying to think like how much time it would take to clean it up. I guess it depends like how crazy these kids go. Like, are the parents being like, hey, it's only me and my son here, but we need 4 bags of popcorn because we're just gonna fucking fling that shit like and then that's probably part of the thought process from Mr. AMC up there is he's like, now we're gonna get even more concession stands. This person ordered 6 drinks so that they could drink one of them and pour 5 of them on the people in front of them.
Yeah, they start selling like, I don't know if you ever built one of these, but do you remember like spud cannons or potato cannons? Basically, like,
no,
I
know of them.
Okay,
I didn't build one.
Just basically like something like that, almost like a firework launcher, but for like popcorn or something. You just stuff with popcorn and it just shoots everywhere. You just start making stuff like that.
Like someone's sneaking in like a t-shirt cannon, and they know when the chicken jockey part, and then they're running down to the front of it and just blasting kids with a t-shirt. Then I guess
that might have liability
jockey,
issues. That might be bad.
I don't think you could pay me to go to one of these showings. If I somehow ended up in one, I'm sitting in the back corner. I am there just to like see what unhinged behavior is about to happen, but I'm not enjoying it. I'm not looking forward to the 90 minutes or whatever. I did see that movie. I don't want to see it again.
To be honest, like, if I had a kid, I'd probably be like, okay, fine, like, go be an idiot or something for this movie. Like, I would get it. But if I was watching a movie and that burst out, I might actually be a Karen about it and, like, actually demand money back or something.
Well, okay, I think that's on you.
Yeah.
If you went to the movies.
Sorry, I mean, like,
what do I want to see today? Oh, Minecraft Rowdy Edition.
No, not the Rowdy Edition.
I just mean,
if I went to the movie just expecting like normalcy and that happened, I'd be pretty upset about it, to be honest with you.
Well, I mean, that was basically me when I went, but it hadn't gotten to this level. I feel like it has become a meme for it to be crazier and crazier.
Oh yeah,
they gotta outdo the last showing. But when I was there, people were cheering and clapping for stuff I had no understanding of. I was so confused the whole time, but it just kept happening. I don't know. But now there's rowdy showings. Sounds miserable.
But it makes sense. Quarantine them off. I get it. I get why you have to do it.
I'm almost surprised we haven't heard of a showing where like just a gun was fired, like right into the ceiling.
I was gonna make a really tasteless joke. We should end the podcast.
Sounds good.
Save me.
That's gonna do it for questions this week. If you want to send in questions for next week, topdownperspective@gmail.com, at TDP Podcast on Blue Sky, the Discord channel, or Claire's PO Box. What's your game of the week?
It's probably my game of the year. Excuse you. It's an Expedition 33. I don't know. Maybe.
Spoilers. Okay. I guess mine's Blueprints. I am enjoying Blueprints. I didn't play much else. Yeah.
Nice.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see everybody in a month.
Oh yeah. Have a safe trip.
Yeah. Keep an eye on my socials if you want to see some pictures and what I get up to. Yeah. I'll see you guys later. See you.